So I stole a man's shoes last night. Yeah, you heard me right. I stole a man's shoes last night. If you want to know the rest of the story, stay tuned and continue watching the episode. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Jeff again, and I stole a man's shoes last night. And I'm not kidding. I will tell you the story in a moment, but I wanted to show you I am going to be claiming a portal. Here's a portal hub in the Nether portal, or in the Nether hub. Yeah, you know what I mean. Here's Anders. His is real close to mine. Coincidentally, the one next to it is still available. So let's take this one and I don't know, somehow mark it as my own with something like that to show that this is going to be my hub right here. So, perfect. I have another hub that I will build at some point. While I'm here, I'm going to go check on the death games, see who's up. And then we're going to head back and finish up some caving, but yeah. Excuse me. I stole a man's shoes last night. So, at the fire station, we got a box alarm around 2:30 in the morning, and for those of you who don't know fire lingo, box alarm means there is an alarm that went off saying that there's a fire, a potentially active fire somewhere, which there was, but went off at 2:30 in the morning. I did not wake up to the pre-alerts. We have these pre-alerts that go off. They go doot 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 doot. Etho is not online. Okay. But we have these pre-alerts that go off that a lot of people, when you're up during the day or the evening and nobody's sleeping yet in the fire station, if those pre-alerts go off, man, the engine crew and the tower crew, they go insane. They go racing out the door toward the engine, and all the pre-alerts are doing is telling you that somewhere in the county they're about to put out a box. 90% of the time it's not in our area, and we end up moving on with life and everybody goes back to doing what they were doing. But if you hear an address that you know is somewhere in the area that you are going to be responding to, it is a crazy mad rush to get back to get to the engines. Everybody goes racing out the door and this, that, the other. Well, I didn't wake up to the pre-alerts. Some people did. I actually barely woke up to the tones. And the tones are extremely... Oops, wrong way. And the tones are... Oh, no, that's right. And the tones are extremely loud. I mean, they're meant to be able to wake you up. I wake up to them eventually. I just might not wake up to them as they're going off or be... What the? My cats were all sitting pretty. They were all sitting just fine. Again, they're just inching their way toward that portal. They just really want to go to the Nether. I don't know what's up with these cats. Oh, what am I going to do with them? What am I going to do with them? So, anyways, they came... The pre-alerts went off, apparently. The tones went off, and I must have woken up just enough that I didn't hear which tones went off. I was actually on the engine last night. I'm on the ambulance quite a bit, so I'm used to riding the ambulance and what I need to do for that, and it turned out it was a box alarm. I was on the engine, so I had to go, and the only reason I knew to get going is because I heard so much commotion and footsteps and people running when all that stuff went on that I was like, okay. Oh, he sounds close. That I was like, okay, obviously I have to get up and get moving. In my groggy mind, I was just like, what do I have to do to get up and get moving? I don't remember what I came doing here. And I thought, okay, I'm wearing shorts right now. I need to get my pants on. I threw my pants on over top of my shorts. I didn't change out of them. I just threw my pants on over top of my shorts. I'm gonna go downstairs and put on fire pants anyway before I even get in the engine. But come on, block leg. How'd you let me break 2 blocks? And this one's like the indestructible iron ore block. I can't even pick these ones up. This is gonna require a relog. I'll be back. Relog done. And I can break blocks again. Okay, so I probably picked those ones up. Whew, that scared me. So, I put on my pants over top of my shorts, still not really knowing what's going on, just knowing in my mind, must get to engine, do not get left behind on a box alarm. So, I'm fumbling around, I'm looking for my boots. I don't even necessarily need my boots because I'm about to go put on my fire pants that have their own, you know, the fire boots and stuff in them, but I was still just so groggy. Used to the ambulance, I'm like, must find boots, must find boots. Our shift has gotten really packed, to say the least, so there's 5 beds in this little teeny bunk room that I happened to be sleeping in last night. 5 beds like stuffed in there, so everybody's gear is just kind of like thrown on the ground next to their bunk, so you're like, especially in the dark, you're just tripping on over everything. You don't know whose is what. There's a light on when the alarm goes off for a short period of time. The lights all flip on, so I had light for a couple seconds to stand up and look at the ground, and then by the time I kind of realized, okay, must grab boots, must get going, it was the light had turned off again, so I was sitting in the dark. So I start reaching around, fumbling, feeling for boots, can't find my boots. Finally, I just reach, grab, boots there, grab them, pull into my chest, run out the door. As I'm running out the door, I hear this faint sound of somebody just going, "Those are your boots," as I'm like barreling down the stairs, and I'm just like, oh, whatever's going on. And as I start to wake up a little bit on the run down the stairs, I kind of looked down. Now I'm in the light, and I'm like, these aren't my boots. And it's kind of clicking in my head that somebody was yelling, "Those aren't your boots." I was like, screw these boots. Got out to the back of the engine, just threw them on the ground, right behind the engine, threw on my fire pants that have their boots on them, went out to the call. I actually made it. One of the guys on the engine did not make it in time, and we ended up leaving without him, because when there's a box, as long as they got a lineman and an officer and a driver, they will be out the door. So 2 of the 3 of us in the back had made it, and the other guy got left behind and didn't get to go play in the fire. But so as we're getting there, we're there for a little while. On the way back, I'm like laughing to myself, telling the guy next to me like what happened, and he's cracking up about, you know, me taking these boots. And we're going back, and we get back to the station, and I realize the ambulance is gone. The person whose boots I took was on the ambulance, and they actually, oh man, I missed that one. They actually got called out for a code shortly after we left. The officer on the ambulance, actually, he's not the officer, he's one of the helpers, but either way, somebody's going to go help work a code, a working code. I have his boots. I've thrown them in the back of the engine bay somewhere because I was so groggy and confused and in such a hurry that I'm just now worried that we're back, and I'm just like, oh no, adrenaline's kicking from the fire, as well as they're still out on this code, and I'm feeling like so bad, but like everybody's just cracking up at the same time. So I told a couple people this story. So people are just cracking up while we're sitting there like, God, can you imagine if he's like trying to do a working code, you know, move a patient into the ambulance to do CPR on the way to the hospital, is not even wearing any shoes because I stole a man's shoes. So all this is going through my head, kind of laughter, kind of feeling bad. And then they get back, and I'm talking to him, and he's kind of laughing about it too, but he's like, I was like, did you find your boots? He's like, yeah, I ran downstairs, I saw him in the back of the engine bay, and I was like, oh, thank God. And he's like, he's like, why did you even do that to me, man? And I was like, what do you mean? I was just tired. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I just grabbed the wrong boots. He goes, you don't know what you did? I'm like, no. Like, what are you talking about? I just grabbed the wrong boots. Like, no big deal. He, apparently, he's on the ambulance. He was just as groggy as I was when the box alarm went out. He heard the tones and started getting up thinking it was an ambulance call because he also didn't hear which tones they were. He just knew that there was commotion, there was a call. He's on the ambulance. Usually it's what goes out. He has to get out of there, and he has to go to this call. He started collecting his stuff, apparently. He says, I was just like turning circles in the room, like frantically like grabbing at the ground, and he at first didn't realize what I was doing because I just looked like a fool. And then he said he quickly realized what I was doing the second he picked up his boots, held them to his own chest, thinking he was about to like sit back down with them because he had found his boots and was going to sit down and start putting them on, and I apparently ripped them directly out of his hand and just ran out the door. which is why he was coherent enough to be like, hey, those aren't your boots, because I had taken them directly from him. It wasn't even that I found his boots on accident on the ground. I apparently just decided that my boots must have magically been like floating in the air and just picked them up because somebody just handed them right to me. So he was kind of laughing about it afterwards too, but he was really confused at first. But yeah, I stole a man's boots, like just straight up stole them right out of his hand and ran out the door. Luckily, I had enough sense to throw them in the back of the engine bay when I realized they weren't mine and not just throw them on the engine with me, because that would have been bad. Because honestly, at that time frame, like, should I have turned around and gone upstairs and returned them before we left? Hell no, I would have gotten left behind. I couldn't do that. But at the same time, if I hadn't put them in the engine bay and he goes running downstairs hoping that I had dropped them in the engine bay to go out to working code, he is also not going to have... Somebody made this. Who made this? Ooh, there's more mine shaft. There's lots of scary stuff up top as well. For the sake of safety for now, let's do that. I want to examine this pillar some more. So I thought you guys would kick out of that because I sure as hell got a kick out of that. Because I've never stolen a man's boots before. Right out of his hand. Just, screw you. Boots are mine. I wonder where this goes to. I'm tempted to follow it, but at the same time, I kind of just want to keep exploring. So that was a funny story I thought you guys would appreciate because I'm still laughing about it today. In other news, more Minecraft related, I wanted to say that I'm gonna post the video, and I'm probably gonna post the build video of it. It's not long. It's not a huge build or anything like that. A very short one, but I was waiting to post it until it had been discovered by Pause. But he unfortunately had, you know, a more serious video that he put out that what I did to him just happened to fall in the middle of it. Not that he got mad or anything about it, but I didn't want people to think I was being a big jerk to him because I didn't post exactly what I had done. I had given him his diamond in that little thing right by his nether portal, and I had built a trap by it. And the trap, he glanced down it real quick. You could see it was only like 3 blocks deep, and there was a ladder on the side. There was also some signs in there, and really what it was is, you'll see in the video when I post the excuse me, coughing. Sorry about that. You'll see in the video when I post the video that it was nothing malicious at all. I honestly put some signs down there that say something to the effect of, because he only would drop a couple blocks, and it said something to the effect of, fooled you, didn't I? Thought I was going to kill you. Like, no, nice kill in the death games or something like that. Like, giving him his credit, but I wanted to give him the fear of thinking I had set up a trap that was going to kill him even though he had won, even though that is not what I had done at all. And that's why I even put the ladder there so he could get out without a problem. But I didn't want people to think that I was just, because he didn't show the rest of it. He didn't even go down there, so I don't even know if he saw. So that must be where that came from. That pillar came from right there. So he probably doesn't even know that it wasn't a malicious death attempt yet, unless he went and examined it further, just not on camera. So I'll post that video so you guys can see that I'm not lying to you. I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I was just trying to be funny. And he just unfortunately didn't see that part of it. And my phone is vibrating very loudly by the microphone. So hopefully that didn't upset anybody when they thought that I had done something like that, because a lot of people would think, and I would give them full right to, if he won in the death games and I'm returning his, or I'm paying the payment that I was supposed to pay, and I set up a trap that killed him for him to get the payment, that would not be like a fair way to go about the death games. That's why it was just supposed to be more a second of fear. Ooh, gold. A second of fear, and that is all. So no, I wasn't doing anything mean. I wanted people to understand that, especially in the wake of such a serious video of Pauses. I didn't want people to think like him talking about the things he was talking about, and then this asshole just comes up and is trying to like mess with you know, mess with him. No, that wasn't what it was all. That wasn't what it was about at all. So just wanted to get that out there. I'm on a really weird setup right now. I'm in the process of moving. I got to move out by the end of the month, so I've started packing, and I've broken my computer desk apart, my main computer desk, and now I've got a temporary computer solution set up just so I can continue to record until the day that I actually do move on out of here, which, you know, isn't that much longer. That's why I had to start packing. But unfortunately, it's a very small extra desk that I had that's very easy to break apart, so I don't have a problem leaving this assembled until I leave. But I only have one monitor again because it's all that this desk holds, and it is the computer box itself is, the computer case itself is like right at my knees, and every time I move my chair, my knees are just like bashing into it because it's a very small desk. So, not the most comfortable way to play, but better than just throwing it on the floor, which I've done before in previous moves for like a week or two, and that is not easy to make videos on at all. I think I played like a PvP map with some people on the floor before, and it was pretty ridiculous. I did horrible. I do horrible in those anyway, but I did even more horrible. One might say horribler. They might say that. They'd be wrong to say that, but I mean, they might say that. Just, you know, point it out. So anyways, hope everything's going great for you guys. I've been having a, you know, relatively good week or so. Not really job related or anything. I still don't like my job, but that's beside the point. It's just in general, things have been going relatively well. Getting things squared away, getting ready to move. Big lack of sleep is always a problem in my life. It's because I got so many things I want to do, so many ambitions. I take a lot of naps, amazingly, even though I have so much going on. I get home from work quite often, really quick, like make a video or try to catch up in the videos that I've missed for like an hour or so, and then I'll catch like an hour and a half nap before I start doing what I plan on doing for the evening, just because I'm so tired from not getting enough sleep. And then that leads to even bigger lack of sleep because of the fact that because of the nap, I don't get to sleep until extremely late. Like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning a lot of times. Is this back to my area? That would be a perfect little loop around. I believe it is. There's still plenty more to explore in here. But this is, yes, my exit. There are so many zombies and stuff here. And no, I didn't miss this. I just knew it was, since it was by the entrance. There was no sense in getting it and then venturing further into the cave where I could potentially lose it. I'll leave it here until I was exiting said cave, which is what I'm currently doing. Whoops. So many zombie sounds. I'm gonna get these zombies. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna find them, clear out all this stuff. I went through a lot of torches right there in a very quick time frame. So I'm gonna probably post this video hopefully tonight. I can't guarantee that. I've had a problem with YouTube lately. Just uploading the video seems to be taking longer and longer every day, and then the processing part of it, I had one processing for I think 12 hours the other day before I ended up deleting it and re-uploading it because it wouldn't even process. It wasn't even watchable. I couldn't even put it out there like unmonetized or anything like that. It was just not watchable. It kept saying it's processing, and I finally deleted it, re-uploaded it, and it still took another, 2 hours maybe after the upload, so about 3-4 hours total, something like that, to get it from what it was to up and running again. It's a weird sound I just heard. Wrong chests. What am I doing here? Either way, I'm going to clean up my inventory here with the spoils of this adventure. And, that's what I'm going to do. Put these in there. And I will call this episode good here. But I will have this video up at some point. And then I will just have a video that just shows me building the prank for pause. It's nothing else other than that. So don't expect I'm going to not number that episode again, because I know last time when I did it with Anders, people were, I can't say they were upset, but they were more like, oh man, I sat down to watch a video and it's only like 4 minutes long. It wasn't a full video, it was just to show the Anders thing real quick. I know a lot of people incorporate them into their videos. I like to let people, when I can, put those up separately so that people, when they see them, will be able to watch the prank happen on somebody else and then come very quickly see what the prank was that was built and move on from there. So this thing hasn't been running, but I am collecting nothing in there. Yeah, I'm definitely collecting stuff in here. Yeah, definitely collecting stuff in here. So this thing is functioning. It's slow, but it is functioning. So I like this design. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like this design. Pretty cool. It works for me. So anyways, I'm going to call this episode good and see you guys next time. So I stole a man's shoes last night. Yeah, you heard me right. I stole a man's shoes last night. If you want to know the rest of the story, stay tuned and continue watching the episode.